Here we are then for the Monaco Prix. Big Dragon Sonic on pole from Ravo, and then it's Zeth. His new teammate David Cameron alongside him, then it's Lawless Checlerc and Batuco. Daf Sanchez only 7th for him, then it's Mini, the 8th, then Sigmund, K Medicis, Kari, and Okui returning, then it's Marcus Nelson, the 13 and 13th. Then it's Ender Dragon Danny, K Hori, and Alan Lee. Then it's Leo, Catfish, Daniel Bontasarov, and F1 World, Valerio Ramirez, and Salas Kynes. A new harder compound of tyre has been brought by Tyre Wolf for today's race after the amount of tyre failures last time out. And we go green in Monaco, and that's a very even start from the top two. Ravo seems to have been bogged down a little bit. He is on the outside, losing out, but coming through starting to bot as B Dragon Sonic holds the lead of the Monaco E3 from Zeth, who's just about side by side with both him and Lawless Checlerc. Batuco trying to get into this little fight for the higher positions here as well. As down the inside goes Ravo, coming through the Casino Square hairpin, as into the wall he goes, and out of the race has gone Ravo. And oh, that's airborne for Ravo as well. Dav Sanchez, I think he's hit the back. There's a little bit of a blockade here. Leo with a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision earlier on. And oh my goodness, airborne goes to 7, the Revolution Racing Maserati. And that must have jostled up the order just a little bit. Bogdasarov down into last place now with Valeria Ramirez ahead. Of course, as a rookie, they're of course going to have a lot more problems, but Salas Kynes only 18th. Yellow's in the second sector, and that's backwards face in Catfish. And it's another consecutive virtual safety car. We're only on lap 2 and we've had 2 virtual safety cars. Oh my goodness me. Keep it up and we're not even going to make it to lap 19. So B Dragon Sonic leads away from 1.5 seconds ahead of Zeth. Salas Kynes with the 5-second time lapse is already into the pits. Comes Ender Dragon Danny with front wing damage. Down to 20 runners then. We've lost a Revolution car and a McLaren due to seemingly no fault of either of them, just being in the wrong place at the wrong time. And QE doing pretty well currently in 12th. And off. Someone's had an off ahead. Is that a rookie? No, it's Lawless Checlerc. Someone else has gone off at the same part of the track. That is Mini, who looks to have a bit of an issue. No one seems to have too much damage. It's 07.3 currently, the fastest lap on lap 3. Track evolution is massive around here. So expect times in the 101s by the end. 1.6.9 from Marcus Nelson. It was originally the Kari's fastest lap. Now it's the Jaguar driver. Ender Dragon Danny with a new fastest second to 2. These times are coming in thick and fast. We're already down to a 6.3. That is a pretty slow moving Andretti car in Daniel Bontasarov. And I can see why. 11% car damage. He's going to need to come into the pits in soon. He wants to actually finish this race. But if weaving to try and get some more heat into those soft tyres. His 69% tyre wear for B Dragon Sonic is off, and out of the race is Valeria Ramirez. Antonio Ramirez out of the race, and it's a 3-second lap. 1 minute 3 seconds from B Dragon Sonic. My goodness me. We went from a 69-second lap time straight down to 63. That's how mad track evolution is. And also the fact that we have these virtual safety cars that slow down the field to GP2 speeds, but you know, they don't matter. And I'm sure they've got nothing to do with this. On board we go with B Dragon Sonic, the number 44, coming through the tunnel section. We might put DRS down this bit later on in the future. He's hopped over the corner and out of the race. My goodness me! out of the race has just gotten your race leader. He set the fastest lap. Camino is out as well. David Camino is out of the race as well. Batuco hits the wall. And I think there is likely still a problem with these soft compound of tyres with the drivers to be struggling this much under the safety car. And not Huey is out as well. And we are still under virtual safety car conditions. On board with Leo. There's a front wing, straight front wing into the wall has gone. MF1 wall with Leo facing the wrong direction. And oh, that was a massive tank slapper from Carlos Sainz. Almost into the wall went Bogdasarov, and that would have taken him out immediately. That car is as fragile as a glass cup at this point in time, and he's definitely got to come in. Does the Frenchman at this point in time? He might as well just let Ender Dragon Danny go by. But honestly, for B-Dragon Sonic, what a woeful start to the season. In the first 5 races, he's only scored 24 points. This is his worst start to a season in any championship that he decided to set his mind to. He's gonna need to put in an absolute stormer of the rest of the season to even have a sniff at the top 3. Because as it stands, he's probably not even gonna be 8th unless everyone else just doesn't finish the race. But at Monaco, attrition is high here, but it's not Monaco, it's not Mexico or Austria levels of high. Drivers do finish this race. As we see down the inside goes the Cupra of Charles Leclerc. Both Apex GP cars are out, by the way. The 2 golden and expensified cars are out. Hyperdrive Mercedes, his only hope of anything right now lays on the Dominican Dav Sanchez's shoulders. And right now he's holding the lead quite well. Kynes and Bogdasarov are both in the pits. 13 laps to go. Everyone on the mediums, apart from Medicis, and I think Bogdasarov's going to come out on softs. He does. And Zef's gotten it. Zygmunt, sorry, he's gone into the wall. Zef was the car we just saw go by. And track's been cleared, so no retirement, thankfully, from the Cupra driver. As we go on board with Batuco, trying to get past Mini, looks at the outside line, doesn't find enough room going around the outside. Sanchez is in, Nelson is also in. That's the teammates of Mini ahead of us. And down the inside with DRS goes Batuco, fastest lap of the race going to Akari. And that's a 1:02.599. New fastest laps coming in every second. We're down to a 2.4, 62-second lap times. Can Batuco go down the inside? What a move! Going into the hairpin. New fastest lap from MF1 World. Medicis hits the wall. And Batuco, 5-second time penalty for the Revolution driver. My goodness me, what a handful of corners that Batuco just had. A true roller coaster of a ride there. And that's taken him up into 4th place. As we see now Medicis defending from Akari and Mini behind him. And Akari has gone past Medicis, so that defense was not stone cold. It was not like an actual wall, sadly, for the Revolution driver, who, without 5-second time penalty and with those hard tyres, not only is he going to drop like a rock compared to the rest of the field, he's almost definitely not going to score points unless he can just manage to hang on to 5th, 4th, 6th, whatever. Because everyone's right now who isn't Charles Leclerc is going to be hoping for a massive incident up ahead to improve position. Carlos Sainz enters the 61-second mark with a 1.1.133. These times are coming in thick and fast, and if only Sainz's lap times were actually showing in his position. Sadly, he's penultimate at last place. Second last in 15th. Only ahead of Baltasar, who's had an absolutely torrid day so far. Franklin's probably going to want to come back next time out. Well, swinging stronger. And as we see Sanchez fighting with Medicis, someone's gone off there. Mini facing the wrong direction. The Jaguar in the number 8, the Italian. And he's currently in the gravel. Can he get out of there? Is he struggling with steering? He's out. Mini is out. Virtual safety car called. And it looks like he was having steering problems. So into the pits comes Leo and Ender Dragon Danny. And Ender Dragon Danny's having his second stop in the race. If he wins this race, if he can. Oh, into the wall has gone Zeph! Oh my goodness me, the 93 car. Yellow flags in the second sector. That is for Zeph, and that's now for Akari. We just saw him sliding. Medicis slides into the wall. Oh, Alan Lee just about avoids it. We go on board with Sigmund coming up to this treacherous section. That has caused quite a prolonged yellow flag period through there. I'm stumbling over my words as I speak. Batuko must have also had an off there. He did have an off. Now, we see Leo come through here, hopping over the curb slightly. Quite a ways ahead of Ender Dragon Danny behind. Bit of weaving from Daniel here, so... Is it Daniel? Like, Kvyat? I don't know. Anyway, bit of weaving from the Andretti driver, currently in 13th, as we see Sanchez get past as Akari. Staff Sanchez currently 9 seconds off the back of Lawless Leclerc. Right now, for the Cupra driver, this is his race to lose. But we were thinking the same thing about B-Dragon Sonic, who was leading at lap 4. And we all saw what happened to him as we see Hori go into the wall, losing his front wing. Half of his front wing, sadly, going off. So he's going to have to come to the pits at the end of this lap. These teams, they must have brought in like 1,000 front wings, considering the issues that have gone on here. Sanchez staying out with Leclerc coming in. So he's going to inherit the race lead. But Lawless Leclerc right now, favourite to win today's Monaco Grand Prix. Even with all of the adversity everyone's faced with 8 to go. As we see the number 72 car. Currently Hyperdrive's hope of getting into the Constructors' fight is winning this race. If they can win their first race of the season, considering the lineup they have, it's a star-studded lineup. Like 8 World Drivers' Championships and a reliable driver in Daf Sanchez. That is star-studded. It was better at the start of the season when they had both UK Ball and B-Dragon Sonic, but they decided to bring in their reserve just so he could get a little bit more experience under his belt. As Sanchez comes into the pits, Leclerc does retake the lead of the race as someone's gone off. And that seems... Oh, that's... Out of the race has gone Salas Kynes at a very odd place. You never really see drivers go off at this part of the track. This chicane took out Salas Kynes, whose car is still on the side there. And a Fonwald comes into the pits. This is just a scheduled tyre change. No front wing problems. As for Leo, he's lost part of his front wing. Bogdasarov's coming in, and he's got a little bit of damage, but he's got quite a lot of tyre wear. 7 to go in the streets of Monte Carlo. Akari gaining on Daf Sanchez then. Look at that envision. He's gained quite a bit. 4/10 the difference between the two drivers now. As up ahead, that is a 3-way fight for second then. Zeph goes around the outside of Sigmund. And Sigmund almost hits the wall. Left enough space though to keep going. Can Zeph send it down the inside of Marcus Nelson? Not quite there. Nelson dives into the pits for Jaguar. And Sigmund also follows him in. The car has lost quite a bit of time compared to Daf Sanchez that the gap's been opened up to an entire second now. So there will not be any DRS advantage for him. Will not get that. And you can tell that these new tyre compounds that the Tyre Wolf have brought, while they are inherently seeming to be quite a little or more prone to losing grip when the tyres wear out, at least they have more tyre, they have more tread. They don't puncture as easily. Because we haven't had a single report of a puncture today compared to the amount that we had last time out in Melbourne. Lap 14 of 19, Lawless Leclerc leading the way. Raft Cupra quite a ways ahead of Zef. 10 seconds the gap. As down the inside on Batuco goes Daf Sanchez. He's on the medium compound side, so he should be able to go to the end. The drivers ahead of him, however, are definitely having a rougher time of it compared to Daf Sanchez, who has set the fastest first sector. He knows better than to go and make the overtake coming through the hairpin. And he's gaining on Zef ahead of him, gaining quite a bit. I don't think he's going to try and make the overtake coming through the chicane. He does not make the overtake coming through the chicane. He makes the lunge coming out of it, and into second place goes the Dominican Republic's favorite driver. Almost into the wall he went there as well, just to try and solidify that position. And with 4 to go, how very close it was between those two. Zef comes into the pits, and he's got Batuco for company. Seems to be a 3-stop race for a lot of these drivers, with 10 seconds to gap. Sanchez can only win this race if this man, Lawless Leclerc, makes a monumental error and either has to pit again or crashes out entirely. But even then, that will give rise to Akari in case anything happens to the two drivers ahead. It's always that easy to say, oh, if the driver ahead of me crashes, then I might have a shot at winning. It's always that easy to just wish for bad stuff to happen to drivers ahead. But as it stands, the top two are currently your favourites to win. If you want a little more chaos in this race, you'd go for Sanchez. If you want things to just be a bit, well, bland, you'd go for Leclerc. But, you know, sometimes blandness is good. We've got 4 to go. Here in Monaco, a lot of the time, the real chaos comes at the end of the race, where you're not allowed to, where no one would really make another pit stop. Speaking of, Leclerc comes in, switches to mediums. He'll make it to the end of the race on those. Akari's in as well. Alan Lee is also in. Hori's in as well. So Sanchez has inherited the lead of the race. 65% tyre wear. Will he make it on that for the next 3 laps? He'll probably end up on 20% tyre wear. So the question is, can he manage with that? Lawless Leclerc is currently 3 seconds off the back of him, 4 seconds. So as Sanchez exits the tunnel, Leclerc enters it. So coming through the chicane comes the Dominican, and he's fit to see another day. But does he then try to pit again? This race is more than just attrition and overtaking. There is quite a bit of strategy. Monaco is everybody's favourite race, if you ask me, when it comes to either championship, either the FEMC or the BDS Formula 1 Championship. So, Daf Sanchez then has decided to start lap 7. He does not pit, as we see Medeiros come into the pits instead. So, Marcus Nelson, at what has been a happy hunting ground for the Jaguar driver within championships, he's in 3rd place now. And if anything happens with the top 2, considering how Leclerc is gaining on Daf Sanchez, the man to capitalise will be the Dane. Or is he Swedish? I don't know. He's got 3 nationalities he goes by, so it changes day by day. We'll go on board with Lawless Leclerc. 1.9 seconds. That's the gap separating the Monegasque driver from a home win and only second. The number 16 for App Cupra. Let's see how he goes through here. We're going to enter the penultimate lap of the race. We haven't had too much go on since Carlos Sainz crashed out. But as we go into lap 18, this is the loss. As soon as Sanchez came across the line, that's when he solidified. These are the tyres he's going to finish the race on. 48% tyre wear. Those tyres are screaming out for help, and you can see that in the gap between Sanchez and Leclerc. Only 0.4 of a second, 0.3 now. MF1 was coming to the pits, and something tells me that Sanchez should have as well, because now he's going to have to defend for all his life against flawless Leclerc. The man who's currently hunting for his home race victory, the man in the number 16 car, Fab Cupra, coming through the chicane. He sees his championship rival. He sees his race-winning rival ahead of him. They go side by side, coming through the next turn. And Sanchez just about manages to hold on the gap. They are still side by side. The Monegasque driver takes the lead. Flawless Leclerc leads the Monaco E3. And he starts the final lap, where he started lap 11 in first place, and he's got Sanchez behind him, 1.2 seconds the gap. I do not think that the Mercedes driver can take that gap away from him. This is Flawless Leclerc's victory lap, everybody. After quite the exciting race indeed we've seen. I've loved it, you've loved it. 0.7 of a second. I would not say that this race is over, however, considering the amount of turmoil, the incidents that have gone on around here today. I would not be shocked if something happens to one of these drivers come the end of the race, especially considering how a lot of these guys did not pit. But Flawless Leclerc, he leads the way. Sanchez is in the wall. Sanchez loses his front wing coming out of the chicane, and something tells me that something similar could happen to drivers behind. And out of the race has gone Marcus Nelson. Marcus Nelson out of the Monaco E3 on the final lap. But on that final lap, Monaco's hero, everybody, Flawless Leclerc, wins the Monaco E3 in season 12. Sanchez will come home second with front wing damage, and third place will be Bronze Zeph in the number 93. And my oh my, the repair bill is going to be unbelievable. As Ender Dragon Danny almost hit the wall, his teammate comes through the turn, also almost hitting the wall. And Daniel Bogdasarov should come home in last place as all the drivers come across the line now. And into the wall. On the wall, rather. That's Leo, who would have been third if it wasn't for, 5 seconds high penalty. What an interesting finish. And here comes Ender Dragon Danny side by side. And Ender Dragon Danny does take home 10th on the road. And it will be 10th at the finish. Fastest lap did go to Daniel Bogdasarov there. And here's your podium then. Flawless Leclerc, the Monegasque, flies his flag high, overtaking Sanchez on the penultimate lap of the race. And it's Zeph, the British driver, who comes home in third. As previously stated, it's Flawless Leclerc from Sanchez and Zeph. Then it's Batuco, Sigmund, Akari, Alan Lee, and Kay Horry. Then you have Medicis, Ender Dragon Danny, MF1 World, Leo, Daniel Bogdasarov finishing off your finishing order. Then you have the Dane of Marcus Nelson, Carlos Sainz, his Mini, B Dragon Sonic, David Camino, Inocui, Valeria A. Ramirez, Catfish, and Vravo. Those were your non-finishers of quite the race of attrition. In the drivers' standings, holding on to the championship lead by a thread is Marcus Nelson, going for his second World Drivers' Championship in the FEMC. Then it's Carlos Sainz, Sanchez, as the boys in second and third, tied on points. And then it's Alan Lee, only 1 point behind. We do have quite the championship fight. Then you have both Cupra drivers on 35 points, currently in fifth. Then you have Batuco 1 point back. Then you have Ender Dragon Danny and Zeph both on 30 points. Then you have Valeria A. Ramirez ahead of B Dragon Sonic by 2 points. That's 26th down to 24. Then it's Kahori 3 points back, and then Akari 1 point back. Mini, MF1 World, and Catfish all on 18 points. Bravo on 12 points. Inocui on 7. K-Medicis on 4, Leo on 1, and Daniel Bogdasarov and David Camino are still yet to score. In the Constructors' standings going into the Canadian Prix in Montreal, it's Porsche who lead the way, 6 points ahead of at Cupra. Then it's Hyperdrive Mercedes EQ, 6 points ahead of them, and 4 points back you will find Jaguar. Then it's Bugatti, Andretti Autosport, McLaren Neon, Apex GP, Braun FE Team, Envision, and Revolution Maserati. I hope you've enjoyed today's Monaco Prix in Season 12, the most entertaining season of the FEMC so far. But as for me, we'll see you guys next time when the FEMC returns for round number 6 of 12.